Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. And today we're going behind the enemy lines, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to talk about Cardinals versus Vikings, our Week 13 matchup. I'm super excited about bringing in all my guests here. But actually, there's a real quick breaking news that ended up dropping. I don't know if you guys know, but James Conner now signed a 2-year extension here with the Arizona Cardinals. We will get another stream dedicated for this specific topic alone, but just wanted to go ahead and give you guys that information. And a huge shout out here to the sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. It's going to be BetUS. If you're looking for a brand new sports book, BetUS is the way to go. Currently, right now, if you use promo code YouTube150, they will provide you with a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit and a 125% sign-up bonus on the following two. That's going to be using promo code YouTube150 upon signing up. Of course, bet responsibly and bet within your means. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's go and jump right into it. Let's go and bring my guest here, Wambar. What's up, man? How are you doing, and how's your Saturday going?
You know what? Saturday is going good. I congrats on the Connor sign. I just saw that as well. I hope that he just got paid, so now he can just relax and doesn't have to prove anything anymore. It's probably one of his last contracts, so maybe Sunday he'll just take a little bit easy. But I'm looking forward to talking some Cardinals, Vikings. Big game for both of us.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a crazy time to kind of be where we're at right now. Obviously, I think we've had some sort of collab here on the BetUS TV, and I think you said something that's absolutely correct. Like, we don't really have any beef with each other. Like, our teams are just, we coexist. We're all cool. But I think this is going to be a really good matchup here. Obviously, the Cardinals sitting at 6-5, and you guys are at a surprising, was it 9-2 now at the second part of your second spot of your division. Did you expect this coming into the season, especially with a rookie quarterback going down so early and then Sam Darnold taking the helm? Like, what are the fans feeling right now? Are you guys kind of shell-shocked, or did you know this was going to happen?
I had us at like 7 or 8 wins. So, and that was, I mean, there were some Vikings fans out there. Yeah, we're going to get 11, 12 wins. But granted, I mean, no, I love it. But those are probably the same fans that say that every single year. So I was going into it more realistically, and it really didn't matter if it was Sam Darnold or McCarthy. I was kind of in the same boat. I mean, obviously McCarthy going down sucks, but Sam Darnold, who I'm sure we'll talk about, has just overachieved times 10. So I think a majority of Vikings fans are very surprised, pleasantly surprised, because it's been fantastic. We've beat some damn good teams too. That's the best part.
No, absolutely. And the way you're battling through these games as well. So, like, definitely kudos to that organization and just kind of what you guys done with Sam Darnold and just, I don't know, the stadium where you're at. Because I was expecting a regression from you guys. I'm not going to lie to you. But what do you expect, or I guess, how do you see yourself right now sitting at the number 2 spot? Do you think you got a real shot to win the division? I know the Detroit Lions, everybody's drinking the Kool-Aid on the Lions right now. Do you kind of feel like you're okay with that number 2 spot, or are you trying to get that division title?
I mean, the Bears really that was really something on Thursday, because they had a chance to actually beat the Lions. Like, I was watching that game, like, are you kidding me? So, I mean, the Lions, got to give them their flowers. They deserve them. They are one of the best teams. I don't see how they really lose another game. The Vikings do play them again at the end of the season. So that could be a very important game. The Vikings played them damn good. They only lost by 2 field goal right at the end of the game. So we stuck with them without a couple of our key players. So Lions are very good. I think when all is said and done, they probably will win the North. And I'm fine with it too. I mean, the playoff scenarios right now, Vikings would go play the Falcons, stuff like that. I mean, even the Cardinals, we could end up playing the Cardinals again in the playoffs. So is what it is. But the Lions are going to be a very, very tough team to get that number 1. Bears, Absolutely. Thank you very much for nothing.
Right, 100% agree. I felt the same way with, I'm not sure if you saw the Chiefs versus the Raiders game yesterday on Friday. Like, just the Chiefs find every single way to win. I don't know. It's just this whole thing going off the Chiefs. I'm annoyed by them. But anyways, let's talk about how you feel about the Cardinals. Like, obviously, I don't expect you to watch every single Cardinals game, and you don't expect you to watch every single Vikings game. But how do you see the Cardinals just kind of from the outside looking in? Like, are you worried about this team, and what do you think their identity is?
No, I'm a little bit worried about this game. I've been worried about the last few games. The Vikings have just done just enough to win the last 4 games, whatever it is. I mean, they've been on the road. Granted, they're getting the dubs on the road, which is huge. Now we finally get to come back to US Bank. But looking at the Cardinals, no, they're no joke. I think this will be the toughest game we've probably had in 4 or 5 games. No doubt about that. Obviously, you guys live and die with that run game. I saw when they signed Connor, Like, what was it? You're 5-1, 4-1 when he rushes for over 100 yards or something, and one in
Yeah.
whatever when he doesn't. So that will be the key. And lucky for us, the Vikings have the top rated run defense in the league. So I think we match up well. So I think that gives us a little bit of a bump there. So that's huge. But to me, when I look at the Cardinals, you guys got some players on defense. It's not like you're completely loaded over there, but it comes down to the offense, comes down to Connor, comes down to Kyler Murray, your rookie Marvin Harrison, and obviously that tight end of yours scares the living crap out of me. So when I look at this team, it's basically win the turnover battle, shut down the run game, and I feel good about it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was very, very humbling last week when we played against the Seattle Seahawks. But it's like one of those division games. Like, you never know what's going to happen. Like, we got two teams that know each other very, very well, and it was a pick six, unfortunately, that Kyler Murray ended up throwing. That was a deciding factor in terms of who won that game. But yeah, I'm looking at the teams that you beat so far. What happened in this, like, or I guess real quick, like the Jaguars game? Like, there was only 12 points scored. Like, do you see this a lot during the season in terms of like not so much playing down to your competition, but like what happened in that game specifically?
Turnovers in the red zone. Sam
Ah.
Darnold looked like absolute trash. I mean, the Jaguars don't even get turnovers, and we were giving them turnovers. I
Mm,
don't have it in front of me, but I want to say through 2 or 3 interceptions. And no, you nailed it. It's kind of cliche to say as far as playing down to your competition, but the Vikings do that week in
yeah.
and week out. And then it's weird. I mean, we spanked the Texans. You go. I mean, we beat the Packers, but then all of a sudden we can only score 12 points against the Jaguars. Last week, we let the Bears score 11 points in 26 seconds to go to overtime. It's like
Ooh,
it never fails. So, spoiler alert, I know we're going to talk predictions. This game's going to be close. It's
yeah.
going to be close regardless because that's just what the Vikings do. But the Jaguars game was just ugly football. At the end of the day, it was like we got the win. When you're in the NFC North, when you're trying to catch the Lions, wins in the North, all that matter. I mean, 3 teams in the North have 9+ wins.
Yeah, that's it's a wild thing to see, honestly. I thought the Bears were gonna be there too, but they're in games. Like, it's not like Bears are like a slouch. Like, they're in games, just obviously with Eberflus going away, maybe they could start winning games from here on out, but it's a tough division to try to stay with up there. But let's talk about Sam Darnold real quick. What a Cinderella story, underdog story. Everybody wrote him off, and then Kevin O'Connell gets the hands of him, and of course, he is what he is now. What happened? Like, how did he blossom into a 9-2 team? What's going on with Sam Darnold?
It's insane. It's wonderful. I mean, he's going to be here this year, and he is gone. Like, he's going to go make some money. We got JJ McCarthy waiting in the wings. There's still some Vikings fans saying, "Oh, maybe they bring back Darnold for another year or two." Darnold's going to go want to get paid. He ain't going to want no 1 year contract. But McCarthy, Kevin O'Connell brings him in, and I mean, he's surrounded by a lot of good weapons. That obviously helps. He's got Jefferson, he's got Addison. Now we got Hawkinson back, Aaron Jones in the backfield, so that definitely helps. But Darnold's looked good. I mean, here's his biggest thing is just the pocket presence. Like, this guy is moving around with an offensive line in front of him that's really not great. It's not horrible. It's like probably good to maybe a little below good. But he's just throwing good balls. And at times he has looked like the old Sam Darnold. In the Jaguars game, he looked like Sam Darnold. He's trying to force it to Jefferson throwing interceptions. But I mean, you look at his numbers, 21 touchdowns, 10 picks, 101 quarterback rating. He's on pace to get over 4,000 yards. Kevin O'Connell has always been looked at as, maybe he's going to be that quarterback whisperer. He's going to be that offensive guy that can just take guys and make them better. And he's proving it. And the best part about that, like, if he can take Sam Darnold and make him look good, players are going to want to come here and play for him. I mean, look at Daniel
Yeah.
Jones, the signing. Not like that's a big deal at all. But Daniel Jones, I mean, he's on the practice squad. There's no really hope for him. I mean, it's just kind of cool that he's here. See what happens. Maybe he's the backup next year. But the fact that he wanted to come here over a bunch, I mean, there's a handful of teams that were looking for his services. And he's like, that's a good opportunity where I can go shine and maybe be better and maybe learn something. So that's huge, just proving that Kevin O'Connell is a damn good coach in this league. And Sam Darnold, I mean, the guy is gritty. The guy takes a big hit. He gets injured. He's out there limping. He does not want to come off the field. He's very, very easy to root for, and he throws a pretty ball.
Yeah.
He will have an ugly ball or two on Sunday, I guarantee. It's just a matter if you guys pick it off or not, because he's good for about 2 of those a game.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, it's a crazy story, honestly. And yeah, I was gonna talk to you about that Daniel Jones situation. So he's not gonna get elevated or anything like that. It's gonna be the Sam Darnold show from here on out, right?
Yeah, I think the Daniel Jones thing is next year. The Vikings have one quarterback under contract, and it's just JJ
Mm,
McCarthy. He's coming off a big injury. My thought is they're bringing him in. They're going to take a look at him and see, like, hey, you know what? Maybe he can actually bring something to the team next year, because it's not like Daniel Jones is going to be getting suitors to be a number one next year. He
right.
needs to sit around, be a backup for a year or whatever, and get his bearings straight and prove to other teams. So I think it's just they're getting a look at him. If it's a good fit, maybe they try to bring him back to be the backup next year. And that's really it. But he ain't going to see the field this year. No way.
And that's just so crazy too, because I mean, Sam Darnold, everybody was talking about how much, he just hasn't accomplished very much either with the Jets or with Carolina. It's just and then they land in O'Connell. It shows you how crazy the NFL is. If you have a coaching staff that truly believes in you and that wants to develop you, that has a really good system that like it can work. Like it can work. It's wild to see it. So good for him. Hopefully he does get paid with somebody else. Hopefully his career works out because I mean he was very, very high, coveted up there with, and he was the same draft that we ended up getting Josh Rosen. So,
Yes, I
y-
was looking at that.
yeah,
Rosen was like 11, right, or 10 or
it was
whatever.
10. We traded up for him, unfortunately. We traded up
Well,
for him with the
it,
Raiders. And yeah, the rest is history from there. We got Kyler the next year. So just kind of goes to show. But
I
yeah,
think
it's
we actually
absolutely
had Rosen on our practice squad. I mean, every team pretty much did, but I think he was a Viking for a very quick second. But
then he
yeah,
got booted. Yeah, the whole Rosen thing was just so weird, the way that we handled that whole thing. And of course, we got Cliff, and it was just Kyler almost kind of felt like a shoe-in and just made too much sense. Let me ask you this here real quick, the defense, with Flores. Really, really good defense. You guys are very number 1 at stopping the run. How are you guys in passing defense?
pass defense isn't great, especially when you look at straight up the numbers. I bet we're probably third from last, fourth. I mean, they're going to
Oh,
be down there. The thing is, though, we've been up on teams a lot where they've been
right.
throwing, so that is a little.
Makes sense.
A little bigger than it should be. But that said, it all comes down to our edge rushers getting after the quarterback. If we're going to give the quarterback some time, you guys are going to be able to get some yards in the air. Our secondary is fairly elderly. You got
Mm,
me, Stephon Gilmore, Shaq Griffin, Harrison Smith, who's still playing at a very good level, but the dude's like 35 years old.
yeah.
Byron Murphy, your former guy, he's been having a hell of a season, 4 interceptions this year, but the secondary can definitely be had. The issue is a lot of the time the quarterback doesn't have a chance to do that because we're usually putting the quarterback in the ground because 38 sacks, fourth in the league, ton of pressures. We live and die by that. So if Kyler Murray is going to be bouncing around, rolling out of the pocket, and making time, our old folks back there are going to have a tough time keeping up with Marvin Harrison. That's for sure.
Who's gonna be the guy that we need to look out for in terms of your edge rusher that you think is gonna get, like, back there?
I'm going to give you two. I'm going to cheat. So
Yeah.
Andrew Van Ginkel has been an absolute stud this year. Bargain signed him out of Miami. 9 sacks, 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. The stats don't even do it justice. You're going to be seeing that dude flying around. He's got the long blonde hair. He looks like a Viking. He was meant to be a Viking. He better retire a Viking. Him and TJ Hawkinson, they look like our logo.
They
It's
do.
fantastic. Van Ginkel, you will see him. Jonathan Grenard is the man. We moved on from Daniel Hunter this year and just kind of spread some money out and took a lot of shots. Quasi, the GM, just absolutely killed free agency this year. So Jonathan Grenard will be back there. Another guy, Blake Cashman, in the middle of the defense, has been lights out. I mean, he's a big reason why this run defense is so good. Very good in coverage as well. So we got a lot of toys on defense. It's just a matter of they're kind of taking their turns as far as who shows up.
Right. I'm just glad we're playing in a dome. Honestly, I'm just glad we're playing because the Seattle, man, that game when it was rainy and we're just not used to inclement weather here. That this Arizona Cardinal team, they're really not. But that's not goes. I mean, that dome gets really loud, right? Like your guys'
Oh yeah.
fans really come out and show out. So I'm worried about that. I'm worried about that for sure. Let's talk about your run game here real quick. And Aaron Jones, he's the number one guy, right? There's not like a split carry type of guy. Like if he's healthy, he's the number one dude, right?
Yep, he is the guy. He will be running tough. We do have Cam Akers, who they've been getting in a little bit more. He's decent, nice. I mean, he's a nice change of pace back. But Aaron Jones is the guy coming off his first 100-yard game this year. He's flirted with a couple 80 plus, and he's been very good. There was a stretch there where our run game just could not get going, and our interior offensive line is a big reason for that. If you guys are gonna get after Sam Darnold, get after our run game, shoot him up the middle because our interior offensive line is pretty brutal.
Gotcha. I feel like that's what we're gonna have to do. I mean, here's the thing with the Cardinals, like our pass rush is not the greatest in terms of consistency. Like we don't got those big names out there. Like the last guy we had was Chandler Jones, and that was years ago. So like we don't have that X factor, but that doesn't mean to say like we don't cause at least 2 or 3 sacks. But like sometimes it almost kind of feels like you guys have enough time, or the quarterbacks have enough time to make a ham sandwich back there. Sometimes it's very frustrating to see. So if you don't send a blitz, then it's like it's frustrating because our defense really doesn't get back there. So I'm worried about that. Um, who are you worried about on our defense? Would it be the Buda Baker? Would that be
Buda
the
Baker, that's the
yeah.
easy one, man.
Yep.
Buda Baker. Darius Robinson, is he making his debut this weekend?
Great question. Great question. So the Cardinals right now, this coaching staff, they love to kind of play the guessing game. They've been doing this thing this last couple 3 weeks about like, oh, check the injury report, check the injury report. I mean, on Friday he was listed as questionable again. Now he's been practicing already. This is his second straight week of practice, whether it's like limited or full. I think it's limited, but like he should be like everything we hear him saying, Darius Robinson as well as Jonathan Gannon, it almost kind of seems like this is going to be the week because Jonathan Gannon did also say there's a plan in place. Now, we don't know what the hell that plan is, but we'll have to kind of wait and see. So we're hopefully, fingers crossed that we're going to see him. But even if we do, it's going to be limited. I'm assuming it's going to be limited. Maybe like 30% of the snaps, something like that.
Yeah, Vikings were sniffing all around him
Yeah.
come draft time. I know they were very interested in him, so that'll be interesting if he makes his debut. I did remember that you guys got Kyrie's Tonga, our former Viking.
Yeah.
How's he doing over there?
He's doing good. Here's the thing, like, with our defensive line, like, it's so rotational that, like, they don't nobody gets a really fair shot of getting, like, 80% of the snaps. Like, the guy who gets, like, the most percent, it's, like, 60%, and that's, like, Zaven Collins, which is, like,
Yep.
our middle linebacker turned edge rusher. So it's, like, that's the way that Jonathan Gannon and Nick Rallis likes to run their defense is very rotational to keep people, like, healthy and to keep people fresh legs, that type of thing. So, overall, Tonka's been not bad, but, like, he's splitting reps with, like, Lopez. So, like, yeah, he's not bad. Yeah, he
He
hasn't
was
really
he
made
was a fan favorite. The big boy is always the fan favorite, and he had some games with Minnesota. But just back to the defense quick though. It's like I'm very curious to see this matchup. I mean, because
yeah,
on paper, you guys got a couple names on defense, but it seems like just a lot of role players. I mean, you see
yeah,
Mac Wilson on there,
yeah.
former Patriot who kind of
Mhm.
burned out. I don't know what he's doing. Zaven Collins. So I'm looking forward to seeing this game.
It's weird too. It's weird because when you look at the stats, we're ranked pretty low. Like we're not the best on paper in terms of stats, but like we can first force a turnover or two. Like we're pretty underrated when it comes down to the defense. So like if we can just somehow cause a turnover or two and execute on points, I don't know. I feel pretty good about this matchup. But like I said, I mean our offense struggled really bad last week. I hope we can learn a lot from it and we'll kind of see what happens from there. But let me ask you this. Last thing I want to ask you, prediction. How do you think this game's gonna go out? You think it's gonna be high scoring? Do you think, how do you think it's gonna play out? And what's your prediction?
I think there'll be some points on the board. Cardinals, like you said, only put up 6 last week. They're probably going to come out a little hungry, a little firing. Vikings finally getting back at home. It's been forever since we've been at home, so the bank will be rocking. There will be some serious skull chance. That will be an issue for the
Yeah.
Cardinals offense. But like I said, it's going to be close. It's going to be close regardless. If either team wins by more than one score, I'll be very surprised. But I think it's going to be close. I do think I'm not just blowing smoke. Either of these teams, it's almost a coin flip for me.
Right.
I'm going to give the edge to the Vikings being at home, and
Okay.
I think we will stop the run game. So Kyler is going to have a big game, and it's very possible. But I got the Vikings like 27-21, coming down right to the end.
Okay.
I wouldn't doubt it if we're up and the Cardinals have the ball at like the 20 and it's the final play. Like it's gonna be a nail biter.
So
It's
nail
Vikings
biter.
football.
All right. I wouldn't expect it any other way. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you so very much for jumping on One Bar. I will have his YouTube channel linked here in the description of the video. So go ahead and make sure you show him love. He does exactly what I do here, obviously, but for his respective team, the Minnesota Vikings. And obviously, another huge shout out here to BetUS, which is sponsoring the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube. Appreciate you for jumping on again. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. And as always, go Cardinals.